this Russian T-90 tank was obliterated by Ukrainian drone strike. A Russian T-72BM2 advanced toward Ukrainian positions. The tank has a larger coverage area across the hull and turret armor, equipped with dynamic protection blocks. Ukrainian drone operators prepared a strike drone and targeted a specific point on the tank to ensure its destruction. The drone quickly closed in, and a large explosion destroyed the tank completely. In this footage, Russian forces attempted to advance using multiple armored vehicles, but Ukraine responded with HIMARS and FPV drones. All the vehicles were destroyed with precision. Ukrainian tanks fired at close range on buildings occupied by Russian infantry in the village of Krimsk, Donetsk region. Ukrainian forces deploy tanks in urban areas primarily to support infantry operations and to engage fortified positions. In densely built environments, they operate in coordination with infantry and unmanned aerial systems to identify threats and avoid ambushes. Armor units are often positioned to control key streets and intersections, creating defensive zones while enabling mobility for other units. In this situation, Russian forces are unable to respond effectively to the Ukrainian tanks and are forced to take cover, seeking to survive. The mission of the Ukrainian tanks is to clear buildings occupied by hostile forces, executing multiple strikes to neutralize enemy positions. Here, we see how the reconnaissance drone is detecting enemy movement in the building and how the Russians are trying to take cover. On the opposite side of the village, another Ukrainian tank is engaging and clearing additional enemy positions. After multiple strikes, the village was cleared of Russian forces and secured by Ukrainian soldiers. This demonstrates the effectiveness of tanks in neutralizing enemy positions in urban environments. A Russian APC departs from a fortified position in an industrial area and moves toward Ukrainian trenches. As it leaves the boundaries of the industrial zone, it enters an open field, passing previously destroyed vehicles. The tank maneuver did not catch Ukrainian soldiers off guard. Armed with an anti-tank launcher, they waited for the appropriate moment to strike. When it came, they fired, guiding the missile using the targeting system displayed on their monitor. The target was successfully hit. A successful hit sparked visible excitement among the Ukrainian soldiers. After the strike, the vehicle continued to move, but the crew, in apparent panic, dismounted while it was still in motion and fled across the open field toward nearby bushes. The entire crew, including the driver, abandoned the vehicle, leaving it motionless in the field with its doors open. This significantly simplifies the task for the drone, which delivers a precise strike and destroys the vehicle completely. After some time, Russian forces made another attempt, this time using smoke screens and deploying a reconnaissance drone. 2 infantry fighting vehicles were committed to the attack, and one of them was neutralized by a Ukrainian drone almost immediately. Part of the crew fled, while the rest attempted to return to their base. Another drone strike then disabled the vehicle completely. Meanwhile, further away, a Russian tank waited for the arrival of vehicles carrying infantry. Only one vehicle reached the position, moving in coordination with the tank. A Ukrainian drone pursued the APC and struck it, but the additional armor prevented significant damage. A mine detonated near the tank, causing minimal physical damage but triggering panic in the APC driver, who began to retreat. In the distance, a Ukrainian tank appeared, prompting the Russian tank crew to make the same decision and withdraw. The Ukrainian drone continued to monitor the enemy vehicles and launched another strike on the damaged APC. This time, the strike ignited a fire that completely destroyed the vehicle. Only the Russian tank was able to return to its positions. In this footage, Russian forces advance in a column toward Ukrainian positions. Initial hits on the Russian armored vehicle struck, but they did not cause crucial damage. The column continued moving, veering off the road into an open field. Ukrainian forces then fired an anti-tank missile, successfully destroying one of the tanks. Another shot was attempted, but it missed the armored vehicles. Infantry forces were now approaching closely. Despite this, a Ukrainian soldier exposed himself slightly from the trench to take another shot. However, the shell again missed and detonated further out in the field. The Russian tank opened fire to cover infantry disembarking from the APC. Another shot was fired from Ukrainian positions, passing close to the tank but missing its target. As firefights continued in the trenches, Russian vehicles began to retreat, but artillery and anti-tank weapons struck them relentlessly, gradually destroying their ranks. Two vehicles had already been destroyed, while the remaining vehicles continued moving but came under fire and sustained damage. Ukrainian forces held their ground, inflicting substantial losses on enemy equipment. Several Russian soldiers were taken prisoner, while others were neutralized by artillery fire. This footage demonstrates the capabilities of Ukrainian drone operators. These drones are particularly effective against moving targets, able to track and engage fast-moving vehicles. Striking a tank with artillery or other munitions requires precise trajectory calculations, but drones can adjust their course in real time, allowing their attacks to maintain accuracy against dynamic targets. The Russian T-72B3 Turtle tank attempted to evade Ukrainian forces for an extended period, but was eventually struck by a pair of drones. The impact caused the tank to catch fire, and a few seconds later, a chain of explosions occurred inside the vehicle. One by one, the explosions breached the tank's defenses, forcing it to slow and eventually stop. Despite the extensive damage, the vehicle continued to move for a period before coming to a halt. The tank crew partially survived but were forced to stop and evacuate the vehicle. The tank could not be saved, and another drone strike decisively destroyed it. The operator identified a weak point in the armor and accurately neutralized the vehicle. In recent months, Ukrainian forces have struck multiple energy facilities, including the Yaroslavl oil refinery in October 2025, the Ust-Luga gas condensate processing plant in Leningrad Oblast just 2 days ago, and the Primorsk oil refinery, which was defended with anti-aircraft systems, but the Russians couldn't withstand the Ukrainian strike. These 3 oil drilling platforms in the Caspian Sea have also been targeted by Ukrainian drone strikes, resulting in significant Russian losses in equipment and personnel, disrupting operations at these facilities and creating difficulties for Russia in producing sufficient oil, which has been Russia's primary source of revenue to fund the war in Ukraine. In the broader context of the conflict, the situation has not become easier for Russian forces, as the United States and its partners have conducted multiple strikes against Iranian weapons production and military-industrial facilities tied to Tehran's armed forces, including these aircraft and drone infrastructure. In this final footage, a Russian Molniya kamikaze drone malfunctions and detonates shortly after impacting the ground nearby. Thank you for watching Iron Pulse Media. Subscribe to our channel to see more footage from the world's most critical conflict zones. Stay informed, stay engaged, and we'll see you next time on Iron Pulse Media.